This is a response to our latest letter from the Health Department. This one is from David Mowat, MP, Under Secretary of State for Community Health and Care. This is our response to him. Dear Mr Mowat, thank you for your letter of August 16, 2016. Firstly, I note that you do not address the serious issues I raised in my letter dated 14th of July 2016 regarding Des Kelly, OBE, and the conduct of David Behan and Andrea Sutcliffe of the CQC in using this man as a key advisor and publicly paying tribute to him. Indeed, you have made no comment at all on this. I would point out that no confidence or trust can be placed in your stance towards whistleblowers while such situations continue. Many people, when informed of the irrefutable facts, find it incredible that successive government ministers and leaders in the care sector have ignored copious independent evidence which proves that Des Kelly harmed whistleblowers, covered up abuse of vulnerable people and protected abusers. And yet he then went on to attain such a position of power that he can influence policy on social care. Regarding your assertions that the CQC acts on reports of abuse, I point out that when those at the very top of the CQC allow this man to advise them and hold such an individual in high esteem to the degree that they publicly pay tribute to him, then the message is clear. The CQC are not the whistleblower's guardian, they are the National Abuser's guardian. You must be aware of the hundreds of letters sent to successive governments and ministers regarding the first PIDA case known as the BUPA 7. However, one paragraph written in 2001 could only be described as a chilling prediction given the tragedies and injustice that have occurred since then. From Eileen Chubb to the Prime Minister, Ministers for Constitutional Affairs, DTI and Health. Quote, whilst the case of the BUPA 7 is allowed to stand, then all subsequent whistleblowers are damned, and all those whose life depends on a whistleblower speaking out are condemned to abuse and avoidable death, unquote. Edna's law would protect whistleblowers, but more importantly, it would protect people like Edna, whose life depends on someone speaking out and action being taken. The current law, the Public Interest Disclosure Act, PIDA, drafted by Public Concern at Work, PCOR, has failed from the start. PCOR recently had to admit publicly that, quote, the prevailing view of those who bring claims under the Public Interest Disclosure Act 1998 is that the law is failing, unquote. But that does not address the injustice suffered. We want all historic cases reopened and an inquiry by a jury, because then and only then will lessons truly be learnt by ensuring accountability and removing people like Des Kelly from the system. You referred to me to the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. However, this department, in its many guises, has been fully aware of PIDA's failings from the very first whistleblowing case to the subsequent evidence we submitted, which included comprehensive evidence from hundreds of whistleblowers failed by the law, evidence which they completely ignored. The Biz Department's conflict of interest means that it cannot serve the interest of whistleblowers because their priority is the business sector. Edna had no voice, even though whistleblowers tried to save her and others. David Behan describes Des Kelly as, quote, the voice of reason, unquote. His voice was heard. Now it is time to listen to Edna's voice, which deserves to be heard and respected because the abuse and the suffering continues for others every day. I end with a very simple request. I asked you to state whether or not you believe that an individual should be held accountable for their actions when published evidence is available which proves deliberate wrongdoing. I look forward to your response. This is what whistleblowers face every day. Blocked brick walls of just complete denial, ignorance and total silence, because whilst injustice stands, there can be no justice for whistleblowers. You cannot amend a law that has caused so much suffering and so much injustice to so many people. We want the law changed and we want redress for all those who've been subjected to the injustice of PIDA. Thank you.